Investing has become a big deal over the past year or two, and I want to say that's definitely for the better. With the huge leap in interest when it comes to investing, comes the question of exactly how should I invest? It used to be a staple in the industry that you had to actually pay in some form to invest. Now, don't get me wrong, there's no such thing as investing for free. Or is it? Obviously, whatever money you're putting in your investment, that's going to cost. But you can actually start investing for free without paying any trading fees. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 free apps, which in my opinion are the best apps to go ahead and get started with investing in terms of investing for free. So let's get into those apps right now. What's up everyone, this is Elijah with Financial Anatomy, coming at you with another video, and this is the place where you can take control of your financial destiny. On this channel we talk about personal finance, ways to make money online, side hustles, and occasionally apps that involve money in some form. We're going to be diving into 2 of those topics, which is personal finance and apps that involve money. So we'll be talking about 5 free apps that you can use to start investing in this video. Since there's a huge trend in investing right now due to circumstances I'm not going to talk about. Yeah, thanks a lot, GameStop. But seriously, more people are interested in investing right now than ever before, and that means that people want to know exactly how can you start investing. So let's get into the 5 free apps that you can use to get started. I'll go into the pros and cons of each one individually so you can make an informed decision on which one you want to get started with. And keep in mind that I don't want this video to be an hour long, so it'll be kind of generalized, but I do have more detailed videos on some of these apps in my archive of videos. So if you want to know more about a particular app, just take a look at my previous videos. Coming in at number 5 is the Cash App. Now, this app doesn't really need an introduction because if you don't know what Cash App is at this point, you've probably been living under a rock. But Cash App has added the feature of investing to their app. Now, I was kind of debating if I was going to put this on the list because it feels more like an honorable mention, but they actually do offer the conveniences of investing. And speaking of convenience, that's probably his biggest pro right there, is most everyone has a Cash App at this point. So within the touch of a few buttons, you can actually start investing in certain stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds. With that being the case, the pros kind of stop there because aside from the convenience, when we compare it to what's already out on the market, yes, it does allow you to invest for free, but we gotta look at it like this. If you're investing, you're gonna be investing for 1 or 2 reasons. You're either looking for short-term gains, and that's closer to the trading side, or you're a long-term investor and you're looking to contribute money on a pretty regular basis. In that case, automation is going to be more valuable to you. When we look at it in that context, Cash App doesn't really offer benefits of either one of them. In terms of short-term trading, it doesn't really give you a lot of information inside the app, so you're having to go outside the app to get information to make your decisions. And that's kind of defeating the purpose of investing inside the app if you got to go outside of it just to get information, vital information you need to make your decision. And when we look into long-term investors, they don't really have the top tier automation. They can just buy investments on autopilot. One thing I find particularly annoying is that they don't have a drip program. So that means your dividends are not going to be reinvested back into the stock that paid them. See how it takes that automation out of it? It's just put into your Cash App account. If you want to reinvest it, you'll have to do it manually. It's also not spread out among your investment portfolio like another app we'll get to later. So when we look at it like that, it really gives you the bare minimum of being able to trade for free, which is fine, but that's a staple in the industry. But for those reasons, that's why Cash App makes number 5 on the list. If you want to know more details about Cash App and investing, you want to check out this video on the screen as I've addressed it in more detail in that video. Coming in at number 4 is the Robinhood app. Now, I was really debating on if this should go on the list because they've had some controversies lately. I'm not going to be a broken record and just rehash everything that everyone has said at this point, but the summary of it is a lot of people are kind of upset that they pulled certain stocks off their platform, and they were kind of the innovator of giving new investors access to investing, and then they pull certain stocks off the platform due to what happened with GameStop and the whole Reddit thing. People are looking at them kind of sideways right now. By sideways, I mean like lawsuits. We're not here to talk about that though. We're strictly talking about the investing features. And this app is actually very beginner friendly. So the interface of it and how it's shaped out is very beginner friendly. So you can really find what you need to find in terms of the basics on the stock. And you don't really feel overwhelmed because the interface of the app is very simple. That's a big plus. On top of that, it does give you the ability to do auctions trading and other trading features that you would expect to see if you're really looking to do some short-term trading. So it does have a plus for people who are looking to get involved in Robinhood and they're traders to some degree. But if we look at the long-term investor side, not really much to offer. A lot of what I said about the Cash App kind of applies to Robinhood too. And even on the trader side, even though they give you a lot of basic information, there is a lot of information you still need to go outside the app to find when it comes to these particular companies. So there's still that. That's why they're number 4 on this list. If you are interested in signing up for Robinhood, you can click the link in the description and get a free stock. And at this point, I don't think I'll get one because I've reached my limit. But if you can still get some, feel free to use it. Get your free stock. It should be valued between like $300 and $500 if memory serves me correctly. So that's something to consider. Coming in at the 3rd slot is Acorns. So Acorns has 2 sides to it. There's the actual Acorns app, then they have a bank account. We'll address the first one, first. So Acorns is an app that you can link a debit card to, and it's going to automatically round up your transactions to the nearest dollar and then invest that amount in a selection of mutual funds based on your risk tolerance, whether it's conservative or aggressive. Based on what I've seen, their most aggressive is pretty conservative because all you're investing is mutual funds. So there's that. Probably the biggest pro of the Acorns app is that it is automatic in the sense of all you do is do what you're doing normally, spend money, and then money is going to be automatically rounded up and invested for you in these mutual funds. In fact, you can play with the roundup features so that it can actually increase the amount that's rounded up per transaction. So you can go $1, $5, however high you want it to go. So that actually is a pretty good automation feature once you actually take into consideration what they're doing. And honestly, it is worthy of praise. And if you have the Acorns bank account, all you need is their debit card and use that debit card for transactions, and it's going to do the same thing. The only difference between that one and the first method is you don't have to link a debit card because you'll be using their debit card. It functions like a normal bank account. Now, keep in mind that that second option is not free. They do charge a $3 maintenance fee. So that wouldn't fall under the free category technically. But assuming the market is doing semi-decent that month, you should make it up in terms of your gains. So what's the downside to Acorns? Well, you don't really control your investments. In fact, there was a huge controversy where they sold a number of investments from a mutual fund and moved it to something else. And a lot of people didn't favor that. They did the research on where it got moved and they didn't really favor where it went. And some people didn't like the fact that they could just sell and buy something else at their disclosure without consulting you first. But that's part of their terms of agreement. That's why I've never really used Acorns heavily when it comes to investing. I've always sold and moved it to another portfolio because I don't really care for them to have that much control. I want to be in control of my investments. I was aware of that when Acorns first came out, but some people didn't look into the terms of service good enough. That's why I'm telling y'all right now so you can make an informed decision. Even with that being the case, so I think it's an excellent method to actually just save money, and once it reaches a certain point, sell it and put it in your actual investment portfolio. I would caution you not to do that like a bunch of times in a year because you're creating a taxable event. If you do that too often, well, you're going to pay a lot in short-term capital gains if the market did pretty well. So it's just something I do like maybe once a year. Now these last two are undoubtedly my favorite, and I can't talk enough about these. But coming in at number 2 is the Webull app. So Webull offers a ton of features if you are a trader or a short-term investor. The whole concept of having to go outside the app to get information, it just hardly exists in Webull. Everything you need to make a decision as a trader or investor is going to be on that platform, and that's a beautiful thing. They'll let you know the dividend yield, the PE ratio, various things about the company. They even actually have a little system where you can trade using play money and actually get your skills up as a trader And that feature is just amazing. On top of that, they're always running some kind of promotion where you can get between 2 to sometimes 6 free stocks just by signing up. And usually those stocks are valued between $300 and $1,400. So that alone already makes them one of my favorites. Speaking of that, if you want to take advantage of that deal, then you can click the link in the description and you can get your 2 free stocks. Occasionally, if you want to get the second stock, you would have to invest at least $100 into the account. But if you're going to be looking at Webull, chances are you're probably going to do that anyway. So something to mention, but is it really that big a deal? Of course, we do have to talk about the downsides of Webull, and this may not be a downside for you, but it can be overwhelming if you are just getting started. This is an app that's really meant for intermediate and advanced investors. If you don't fit that category, you're going to open the app and get overwhelmed. But that might not be a bad thing if you are an intermediate or advanced investor, or if you're looking to become one. So you could use that to kind of force yourself to step up and understand exactly what all of this means. So that's a con that's debatable, but without a doubt, a definitive con is they don't really have much automation features. So for long-term investors, that's something to take into consideration. Some of the stuff I talked about with Robinhood and Cash App is going to be present here in terms of lack of automation. So it might not be the most appealing option for long-term investors. And now my favorite app when it comes to investing in general is M1 Finance. I've talked about this throughout the years and I cannot shut up about this app. It is just beautiful for beginner investors, intermediate investors, and long-term investors. The biggest reason is it can really be automatic. So you can make your investment portfolio, or you can actually pick from the investment portfolios that have been handpicked by experts. So you could also do that. But whatever portfolio you design or you decide to pick from, when you put your money in there, you can just turn that auto invest feature on, and all your money is split up among those stocks based on the percentages that you set personally. So let's say you have 3 stocks in the portfolio. You can arrange so that 50% goes to one, 25% goes to the other 2. And as the market fluctuates, anytime you add money, M1 Finance is automatically going to be adjusting to try and get those ratios back in balance. That means it's going to split up your money to get everything back in balance for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. And if your ratios get too out of stock, no pun intended, you can always just click the rebalance button, and M1 Finance will sell stocks and buy stocks to get everything back in balance. And when it comes to taxes, M1 Finance has your back because they're going to sell stocks based on what's going to cause you to pay the least amount of taxes. So they would sell stocks that you've held longer than a year first, because you would only be paying the long-term capital gains tax. Once those have been sold, then they'll go into the stocks which you've held less than a year, which you would be paying the short-term capital gains tax, which is obviously more. What I just said doesn't just count when it comes to rebalancing, but let's say you just wanted to withdraw 4% of your overall portfolio, and M1 Finance is going to sell stocks in that order so that you'll be paying the least amount of taxes. So there's a good chance that you won't sell any of your stocks that you haven't held longer than a year, so you won't be paying short-term capital gains tax in the first place. On top of this, your dividends are deposited back into your account, but if you have auto invest on, guess what? Those dividends will just get split up among your whole investment portfolio based on your percentages. That's just beautiful, and it's the golden thing for long-term investors. Now, I've talked about the pros for the last 2 minutes, but it does have a con, and it's actually pretty big. If you're a trader, this isn't the platform for you because they only have one trading window throughout the whole day. So that means that if you miss that window, if you put in a trade, it'll be sent the next day, and traders know that seconds are vital, let alone whole hours and a day. That's just unacceptable, because if the trade goes through the next day, well, whatever reason you wanted to trade the stock for, it may not even exist anymore. You wanted to sell because things were getting a little out of whack, and then tomorrow hits, and if you sell now, you'll take a huge loss. Or if you want to buy because there's a huge opportunity today, if it happens tomorrow, the opportunity is probably passed by then. So it is a big con. This is not the investment platform for traders. So if you're looking to trade, I would stay away from this platform. If you're interested in signing up for M1 Finance, you can click on the link in the description below. At the time of this recording, they are doing a $30 sign-on bonus. So if you sign up, you'll get $30. Sometimes that fluctuates between $30 and $10, but I don't see it going down anytime soon, to be honest. So if you are a long-term investor and you like the pros that I just mentioned, sign up for M1 Finance. You won't be disappointed. Keep in mind that you do need at least $100 to sign up for M1 Finance, but kind of similar to Webull, you probably are going to add $100 anyway if you're looking at investing. You're probably going to add more if we're going to be honest. But I just wanted to let y'all know about that. If you want to know more details about M1 Finance, I have done an M1 Finance tutorial, but I will be doing shorter videos to break down various things such as how to build a pie or portfolio, how to sell a stock individually, stuff like that. So be sure to keep an eye out, and maybe that's the reason for you to subscribe so you can be notified when I drop those videos. And that concludes the video. Those are the best 5 free apps that I recommend people take a look at if they're just getting started investing and they don't want to pay a bunch in trading fees for these big brokerages. As you learn throughout the video, each one of these stocks has their pluses and minuses. So now you can make an informed decision on which pluses are best for you and which are the minuses don't mean that much. Then you can pick one based on that information. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell notification so you can be notified when I drop another video. Give this video a thumbs up if you found value in it. It's very much appreciated. And if you want more details on any of the apps individually, check out my archives of previous videos, and I'll also leave links in the description. And if you don't see information that you would like from one of these apps, let me know in the comment section and we'll look at turning that into a video. That does it for now. Be profitable, everyone. Don't forget to get out there and take control of your financial destiny.